Hey Bloomerinos, look what we're gonna make. Are you ready? Come on, let's have fun with flowers. We're playing with our latest wreath kit, and this one is a butterfly crossing wreath. In this kit, you're gonna get the sign of butterflies, beautiful mini daisies, and some gorgeous greenery. It is all about the contrast of the colors here, and I think it makes a beautiful wreath. In this kit, you do not get a wreath base, so you will need to decide what side you want to do. The sign is actually a cute little yardstick. See the bottom here? It's a little yardstick. So if you have a roto zip, you can always just zip this off and cut this off, or a big like linesman plier or something, you can cut the base off. But if not, if you use an 18-inch wreath base, you literally can just work it right into the base and you don't have to hide it or anything like that. So this kit doesn't come with a base. You need to pick out which one you want and then use whichever one you want. Either the big one that says the 18-inch or go smaller with the 14-inch if you're going to cut it down. So we're going to use ours full on, and I am going to take, first of all, and get it mounted in our base. And we're working with the 18-inch wreath base here because I don't want to have to worry about cutting it. I know I'll get all this hidden and make it disappear. So I'm going to start off first by just popping this in the bottom, kind of bringing it down a little. And then whatever's sticking out, you got to be able to cover it with florals, and you need to make sure it's to the foreground so it won't hurt anybody's door or scratch it or anything like that. So I've done that here. It's in the foreground and it's not going to scratch their door. And once I've got it in here really good, I want to bring it down just a little bit. Then I am going to take and cable tie this in the bottom, and I got to make sure it's running straight up through the middle so we don't make this wonky. So that looks pretty good in the middle. And once we're happy, we're going to put some cable ties. I've got some good brown ones, or you can use black. I'm going to use black because then that stem will kind of, it'll hide it on the metal support thing that usually goes in the ground that we're using in a wreath today. Y'all, and if you want to grab this kit, just head over to Cleese.com. The link will be right here in the comments too. And there will be links for the wreaths. You just have to add the wreath you want for the size wise. I'm going to use that black cable tie up here so I can just kind of camo this right under the butterfly right here. Okay, get that a little tight. And let me see if I can get some tension on here. Yep, so you're never going to see it now. And just want to make sure I don't have it too left or too right. I got it nice in the middle. All right, once you've got that center, we're going to take off these little cable ties. Those little tails, we don't need to see any of that. And it'll keep that hidden. If you need to, you can use wire on that also if you want to be able a little bit more forgiving, to be able to wiggle it around. And then when you're done, make sure you just tuck the cable tie little knotty part in the wreath, but not on the back where it's going to scratch anybody's door, okay? Now, let's get our next base started. So we're going to start with some of our greenery. And this one comes in the kit, and it's kind of really nice and wispy. It's very lush, and I like that because it's got all this movement to it. And we're going to put that in first to kind of create our perimeter. And that means we're going to just kind of set the base out. So let's take this puppy and get it separated into some nice sections we can work with. And I like to just tear it, make it easy on yourself. Now, once we've done that, I'm going to straighten those up a little, and we'll start to get them into smaller little sections. I got a nice little cluster to work with. And, you know, just take your time. You have to trim them pretty good after you cut them, because you want to be able to shape them into nice little sections like this. So you're going to take that one bush and make a lot of smaller picks from it. And I've got my glue pot back here. Just give that a swirl. And then you want to decide right now about how high you want this to go up. And I know I kind of want it to kind of come up a little bit higher than the butterfly sign on either side. So I'll work through that both directions, okay? So we're going to take these, and each one of these stems you should be able to make it into a couple of different pieces. So this one has this cool curly Neato vine, and pull that to the inside. We're going to add a little bit more of that over here in a second. I like for that to kind of come back over the butterfly sign. And I've got a lot of glue on there. Now, I want to make sure as I'm bringing these in, I'm going out and I'm going in. Let's push this one in. There we go. Have it kind of come back. Now you see how that's coming over the side? I want to do that on this side too. And I've got this piece that was on that first section we cut. And then what we can do is we literally can take the wire and like make it kind of come around this wire. I love that. We're gonna add a little bit of detail. Usually I don't do detail to the end, but I want this one to kind of be in the background. Now, anytime you can see your glue, you want to cover that with a little bit of Spanish moss. And today I'm using my light green Spanish moss on there. Now I'm going to take the smaller pieces and I'm going to work one a little bit to the inside here. Kind of coming on the left side. Yep. And I like for it to overlap the sides slightly. And I'm going to come in with a little bit of my moss to hide my mechanics, and that means cover up the glue anytime I can see that. All right, I'm going to bring this one now coming to the inside also, and I've got a couple of pieces of the cool vine on it. Oh my gosh, I get so excited. We use this one in our sold out bear beehive kit. We use that same greenery, and I loved it because it gives you that little bit of wildness to your design that is a lot of fun. Okay, look how cute that is. And I'm going to take that moss and we're going to put that right in here to kind of hide the mechanics. Now I'm going to try to get another piece with a little more vine to come on this side. I want to match what I just did over there. This one will kind of come right here. I love it. And make sure you do what we call in design school shaking hands. You're spreading out your picks, sprays. You're purchasing those from Cleese.com, so you're getting this great wire in there. And that way you can get all that depth and dimension and start to learn how to maximize that in your designs, because they're going to look higher end. Oh my gosh, it looks like a garden already. Okay, our smaller pieces, we're going to kind of work down here right out of the middle so we can start camouflaging our base down here. I don't want everyone to see my wire stem, so we're going to start to kind of lay a little camo there. That one's going to go on the right and this one's going to go on the left. I'll just work these under. There we go. Beautiful. Let me put a little more Spanish moss in here. Got a little bit of a glue there. I want to kind of camo that. Okay, already. Kind of hard to see that stake already. We're hiding it in. Excellent. Now, let's move on to our next step. We need to put our flowers in. And this type we're using a mini daisy. That is really, really fun. And I like this one because it's long and lush. So what I want you to do is push these leaves up to the bottom. So we don't need any leaves really low. And then I'm going to trim this all down a little bit to kind of get these stems a little shorter. Doing that first. And let's start to build this puppy up. When I use these, I'm going to use these in twos, okay? So I'm going to kind of stagger them in, and I want the flowers to work out, okay? They're kind of working from the middle out on both sides. So I'm going to take and put my first one in right here. Tuck that, oh yeah, whoa. And then I'm going to do the same thing over on the right side, okay? So you've got a great foundation started. We want a tall one and a short one. And these are going to go out to the right also. So I just kind of lay them together. Trim them up. All right, on the right side right here. And make sure you're going into the wreath, not through the back. Oh, nice and bushy. Looks like a wildflower garden in there, which goes perfect with this sign. And I'm going to put a little bit of Spanish moss right in there where my glue is. All right, excellent. Now I'm going to work my way down. I'm going to work on the right, doing the same thing. One a little bit higher, a little bit lower. And we'll come down a little. It's gonna go right beside the stake in here. I've got that working. And then I'm gonna use this cluster off to the left. And you can see how pretty that is, how we've gotten a lot of movement here. It's just gonna look like a dang garden, which is what we want. I love it when you feel like you're escaping into somebody's garden right before, you know, it just goes so good on their front door as you come in their entry. Ah, yes. I love it. All right, and then we can put a couple up the middle here to kind of go right beside this middle stake that's in the center, and we're going to put those right up the middle. So I'm going to push them up and make one a little shorter and one a little longer, so we'll get a really natural look. And I'm using an electric skillet with hot glue that's right behind the wreath stand. That's why you see me go back there to get the glue. All right. And it's okay that it covers up the words a little. I like for it to feel like it's a layered look. Okay, that's what we're going for. All right, and this very last piece we'll kind of use here in the center, kind of coming forward, out a little bit to the right. Because we're still working on camouflaging all of our stake in here and working it in. Now this particular design is not gonna have a bow, but if you're really wanting to put a bow and you're like a bow person, you know what, that is the perfect place to put the bow down there at the bottom. Oh, she's looking good, y'all. You ain't kidding. This wreath looking good. I love it so far. Now grab your other greenery, because we want to use this to kind of make that center really pop. And I'm going to take and trim these stems down a little bit. You just cut them all off the main stem, and they're very long. They're a little bit longer than we want to use in this design. So I'm going to take and cut one so it hangs a little, and then we will make that into two different cuts here, okay? So I'll cut this piece off right there, and then I'll make this into a couple of pieces also. So I get that hangy look, but not as long, all right? I still want it to be really hangy right down here at the bottom. I'm gonna move up the wreath for a second so you can see me work on that bottom section, okay? Because we want this to feel real wispy and organic. So I'm gonna take two of these together, and we'll put them starting down here by the, right behind where we put the yellow flowers right in here. Oh, that's perfect. And now it's nice and wispy coming down there. I love it. We're gonna cut the other long piece into some smaller sections as well. And we'll use this one right up the middle, right in there. And I'll kind of put it with another piece here together so that they can kind of layer together on this side. Take your time on this part, you know, really enjoy the process of creating when you get into the detail work. And in here, that's kind of what we're doing already. We're coming in, we're trying to camouflage our little stakes so you don't know what's in there, but we want it to feel very lush and organic in here, and really just a pretty greenery that's going in there. So these pieces now we're going to work in that section going left and right. Bring this one over here. And then I'm going to put one into the right too. Right behind some of my leaves. And pretty soon you can see how gorgeous that is. You don't see the stake anymore, do you? Not at all. It's very camo, really lush in there. Got a little bit of greenery left, and we're going to use a little bit on either side to kind of fill in to get a little bit of that brighter green there. And then after that, we are on to the fun part of the butterflies, because yeah, it's a butterfly crossing. They're crossing. They're about to cross. Let's put the other one on this side. And wait till you see these butterfly twig stems. They are loaded with twigs and little forsythia blooms. They are so fun to use. All right, we've got great placement in our greenery. We've got our stake all hidden. You never even knew it was there. And now we're ready to rock and roll these butterflies. We're going to use 2 of these stems because if 1 is good, 2 is better. And on this one, it's a little harder to break up because it's got a lot of fine little stems. So I kind of like to use it all as one. All right. So that means getting in here and kind of placing all these stems. I love the twigs. I think they're a lot of fun too, but you kind of got to woman handle them or man handle them, meaning you've got to control them a little bit. So I like with the butterflies to put a little curl in there so we can get them moving. Now they're very neat in the wind. These actually will wiggle a little because they're lighter material and they look so organic and beautiful. So you want them in here flying. So I kind of play with it a little. I like for the big twigs, the brown twigs, to get a curve on them. If this is too tight for your finger or something like that, just you can use a long glue stick or a dowel rod, but I like to curl them just a little. Okay, kind of played with it a little, but we're ready to cut it. Don't cut it too short, keep it about 4 inches. And we're gonna put 1 in on the left and 1 on the right. So let me start with this one on the right. I'm shaping it just a little, all right? And we're gonna put it over here. Now, bend that stem where it comes forward just a little. I'm dipping it in my glue. And we're going right in here, back to the right. Trying to get it kind of going in the background slightly. Oh, perfect. So you can see we added all this wispiness immediately, but now take your time. Put these guys where you want them. I need this tallest butterfly there. And see how I'm just curling it to accomplish what I want? Just seeing if it's okay. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now let's come on the left. Same thing with this one, same stem. See how these are long and spread out? I'm just gonna add a little curl. And then I can stretch them out or just have a little more control over them. You're gonna have to still shape it once it's on there, but do a little before so you don't get in there and just get overwhelmed with it. I'm gonna take this long. This one's kind of on a heavy wire in the middle, so maybe use a couple fingers so you don't just get it too tight. Okay, I've played with it. Now I know it's gonna go in here and work out this way so we get our same little butterfly crossing on the left. Okay, let's come in on the left. Now once we get our butterflies in, we're gonna do a little bit of detail work where we want to come and clean up anything we missed. Right here, look at this. Bringing that in. Now I want to have like that butterfly's up tall there. I can make it match if I want, or I can make them move down. Like this is where you can do your detail work and wiggle them around. I can have this one kind of come down. How about this guy will go way up over here? How about that? This guy could move more to the middle. Yeah. So just stand in front of your design, take a look at it. And then my last step, oh my gosh, it has just so much dimension, y'all. Check this out. Look at that. Look at all that. Oh my gosh, it's great. My last detail I want to do here is I want to come in and grab these few pieces of greenery that were left from my very first piece, okay? I have just about 3 pieces. And I'm going to use them individually to kind of go in and fill in any holes. And every project will have a little bit of holes sometimes. So you just come in and you look for where you missed a little spot. And we just take and push them in. And they can be little cuts. They're glued in nicely. And you know, those vines we put in at the beginning, if you want to move them more to the front, you can. Here's this one. Here's one there. See, you can work them all around. Oh, I love that. Now I'm going to use one of these cool little leafy ones kind of coming out to the left over here. And I'm going to shape it up just like we normally do, shake hands. And we're gonna come out to the left also. Y'all, this was amazing fun. I hope you're inspired to make something beautiful. And you grab this kit from us and you can just make this exact same wreath or take your own twist on it and create something beautiful. It will make a great gift, but I think you might end up keeping this one for you.